just wobbles it forward. Picked up by Jamak, the former Giant, off to O'Day. Scrubs a kick in to the centre square, but it's picked off by Lally. Send it up to half forward, and here is the club debutant and Gabby Biden-Deg-Webster, who sends Fremantle into the pocket. Ty trying to keep it alive, can't do so. Well, first foray forward for Fremantle. It's gone end to end, both teams, both going inside 50. Ty and ruck against Scholes. Picked up by Maloney. Under pressure with the kick. Not the required distance. Scrap for it in the pocket, Maloney. Off to Brooksby. Hurry kick around the corner, Strong. Hands to it. Does really well at ground level. Off to Lally. Bombs it to a dangerous position. Ty the target. Wanted a free kick, nothing doing. Doing the work at ground level is O'Sullivan. Ty's brought to ground. A fun matchup to watch against Borg, who's got the job today. Early stages. Scholes palms it down, then chases after it. Sockers it off the deck. It's marked by Cheyenne Hammond. Sometimes the run of the green works in your way, and that was one of those occasions. Long down the line. Darrick the target, Scholes rose. Almost usually the other way around. Lamb had to go at it. Worried off it, Strong to Miller. Biden Webster brought to ground. Has been better by Port. They struggled to exit the D50 early. Gavin Newton going nowhere. A couple of long sleeves out there today. Gavin Newton and Ash Brazel. A couple in the commentary box too, Jess. Well, we can't complain about the cold given what we saw at Icon Park a few moments ago. Typical Melbourne weather in September, a bit of everything. Nice conditions here today. A little bit blustery, but fine conditions at Alberton Oval. Looking forward to this contest. Darrick off to Maloney. A few touches early. She's been busy. Flynn, look out, wrapped up by Teakle. And has been rewarded. Career best, 4 goals last week. Talk about taking your moments on the big stage. That was Julia Teakle against the Dogs. Kicks Port Adelaide inside forward 50. The Dockers looking to rebound. O'Driscoll. Ball's held to her. Umpire calls for it. They're a long kicking team. Port Adelaide, they like to get it and go. Don't use a lot of possession. Cover the ground by foot really well. Maloney to Darrick. Tackled as she kicked it. Goes to the goal line. It was touched on its way through, and we have our first score of the afternoon. Well, both teams are able to get the ball into their own forward 50. Both defences having to work really hard to track the footy back down the ground. This is, I guess, an early indication of what we might see today, Jess. Brazel with the kick in. Feels very arm wrestle-like right now. We're only a few minutes in. Of course, both teams don't know how to play each other because they've never done it before. Flynn looking to exit defensive 50. Newton got a hand on it. It's out to Maloney, who's wrapped up. He's been very busy early. Hammond skies it inside forward 50. Teakle hands to it, no mark. We're going to have a ball in. These two sides came into today. Port Adelaide 6th on the ladder, Fremantle 7th. And with earlier results today, they've slipped outside the top 8, but a win here today take them inside the top 8 and set themselves up before we have a fixture crunch in the next few weeks. Ball pinballs around here, plenty of numbers around the footy, and we're going to have another stoppage. We might see a bit of this in the opening quarter. These two sides try and feel each other out. Absolutely. Lots of stoppages inside 50, so lots of opportunity to score out of the chaos too and get some free kicks. So free kick going the way of Mim Strong. He's developed so well over the last few seasons. That kick probably not her best one, Jess. she has, absolutely.
That wasn't the commentator's curse, that was the wind.
Well, she's leading the hit-outs in the competition, and she's also second in the competition for hit-outs to advantage, so really giving Fremantle first use of the ball.
Kirsty Lamb, who was one of their best last week in their win against the Dogs. To the pocket, Houghton, the target strong. Handball overhead to Brazel. O'Driscoll chips it short for Flynn. Let's go down the line. Miller, the target, over her head. Close to the line. Let's get downstairs and check in with Mon on the boundary.
Good afternoon, guys. Can just see Willie Rioli and some of the Port boys watching on this afternoon after their great win last night against the Hawks, securing themselves a preliminary final spot next week against the Swans. And you mentioned the wind. It is very windy down here, quite swirly as well, so not great for the hair, but I'm just glad it's not hailing today.
Yep. You pray for days like this as a boundary rider, considering what happened at Icon Park earlier today. Great to see some of the Port Adelaide men's players here today supporting the AFLW.
You see lots of that around the competition, don't you, Jess? We saw Max Gorn and Petraka get down to Casey Fields last week for Melbourne.
Danes bombs it down the line. The wind just caught it. Fell short. Maloney.
Of course, the McClellan Trophy to be decided through the AFLW season.
Maloney up to 6 disposals already. It's getting busy for the power. Here she is again on cue. Window. Tackle by Runnels, and that's holding the ball.
Port fans wanted the 50-metre. Umpire gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maloney's just come off, and there was no one to interchange on, so they were down a player just for a few moments there.
Runnels kick down the line, tie the target, low to Newton, boot to ball. They're under pressure, the Dockers. Day laying a tackle. So Maloney's up to 7 disposals, 4 tackles. Mim Strom started well, 5 disposals for her, 5 hit-outs as well.
Of course, the record for tackles, Jess, 22. Kiara Bowers, we thought last night with Grace Campbell, thought maybe that record might be under threat. But then she got herself a few more possessions and gave up the tackling count.
Etherington off draw. Sullivan kick smothered by Darrick. Ricochets to Levicki. Kicks it into the centre of the ground, off hands. Houghton swoops outside of the boot. Only a one-on-one ahead of her, and it's Teagle against Pugh. Pugh will get there first. Teagle chases her down and strips her of the footy, holding the ball. Great pressure, Julia Teagle. It's what you love to see from one of your forwards.
And just so calm and composed, didn't overcommit, forced the opponent to make the decision, and then she pounced.
Bombs it to a dangerous position at the top of the square. Houghton out the back. Wendland had a fumble at ground level. Taps it backwards. Picked up by O'Driscoll under pressure. Coming across is Sinead Goody to take the grab. She can line up for potentially Port Adelaide's first.
Well, she's a good young footballer, isn't she? Just reads it so well. Generally finishes pretty nicely as well. You might think this distance might be beyond her.
The Rising Star nominee from round 1, Sinead Goody, the 18-year-old draftee. Runs in ball, gets pretty close to tying the mark and kicks it straight into her. Ty trying to feed out the hand pass. Brazel's caught, holding the ball.
Really good pressure there from the forwards of Port Adelaide, just really wanting to trap that footy inside 50 and get another opportunity.
Piper Window, another one of their draftees, kicks to full forward. Couple of targets there, off hands. Houghton had a play at it. Now it's picked up by Symes. She's wrapped up. You feel there's a bit of intensity out there already, even though we haven't got the first goal of the game yet. Big opportunity for these two sides, as we've mentioned, to stay in touch with the top 8 in the early stages of this AFLW season. Every game in an 11-game season is crucial. O'Driscoll, quick kick under pressure, has been picked off by Kirsty Lamb. She'll look for a target. Over the head of Teagle and out of play.
Because that's a nice get, isn't it, for Port Adelaide? Just Kirsty Lamb comes in with all that experience, that toughness, hardness. Great competitor.
This is the live ladder. Carlton, big winners over Geelong earlier today. pretty tight and congested in the opening couple of weeks of the AFLW season. Here's a chance for Goody in the pocket outside of the boot. He goes through for a minor score, but she looks dangerous around goal.
She knows how to find it. That's half the battle, Jess.
So a couple of behinds to Port Adelaide in this opening quarter. Here's Pugh for the Dockers. Under pressure. Julia Teakle comes up with it, jams it on the boot. The snap around the corner is through. Port Adelaide struck first.
Well, Jess, that's just pressure from Port Adelaide, from their forwards. They're set up from behind the footy, but Fremantle just couldn't exit the ball downfield, especially when they had a paddock in front of them. Just amazing pressure by the Power. In fact, they're leading the tackle count, Jess, 26-8, so it gives you an indication how much pressure they're applying. They are closing down that space. Fremantle have not got any space to breathe. They're able to get the first goal because of that pressure.
Our Chemist Warehouse goal replay. Julia Teakle on the board in the opening quarter after a career best 4 goals last week against the Dogs. And the Power get the first on the board here at home at Alberton Oval. So a strong start to the Power, and they win it out of the middle again. Lamb sends them forward. It's a good mark from Wendland. Search and kick into the pocket. Great work coming back with the flight of the ball as O'Driscoll close to the line. And we'll have a ball in.
Geez, that's fast movement out of the centre. It's not a super long ground. You understand probably why when you come to Alberton, why they play such a long kicking game. They're very quick, long and direct, play very skinny.
Shallow throw in Wendland. Rose, left foot snaps, an absolute beauty. Come on, the Power. And Caitlin Wendland gets her first goal of her AFLW career.
Well, what a great place to do that too, in front of such a parochial Port Adelaide crowd here at Alberton. Beautiful ground. Wonderful supporter base, and to be able to do that in front of them, but that clean takeaway from that centre bounce, a quick inside 50 through some beautiful long kicking, going straight down the corridor. Fremantle are going to have to find a bit more pressure.
She's had to work hard for her AFLW opportunities, Caitlin Wendland. She was an injury replacement signing for both Brisbane Lions. She couldn't, she played 3 games for the Lions, and then she was an injury replacement for Port Adelaide as well. And a former member of the SANFL Team of the Year in game number 6. And she gets her first goal in the AFLW. A promising start to Port Adelaide as we close in on quarter time. East and passes it forward. Good tackle from O'Sullivan has been rewarded against Brooksby. Such a consistent performer over a number of years for the Dockers. Bombs it long, streaming out of full forward. Or back with the flight is Newton. Hands to it, she's paid the mark.
That was a beautiful mark under lots of pressure. Antonio was leading up hard behind her. She just put the Dukes up, former #1 draft pick. Great recruit in for Fremantle from the Western Bulldogs. She's got a lovely set of hands, and she can finish beautifully as well.
She was the Dogs' leading goal kicker in season 7. Gabby Newton has crossed to the Dockers. Just didn't quite have the journey.
Well, nice signs there by Fremantle's forwards. Had a couple of really good options as the ball came down the corridor there. Don't mind having Antonio and Newton as targets up forward for you.
Brooksby with the kick-in duties. Looking for Bogue, collects on the bounce. Turns and looks for Teakle in a one-on-one against Brazel. O'Sullivan just palms off her opponent beautifully. Now they can link up at half forward. Miller back inside forward, 50. Knocked away from Antonio. But Adelaide can look to rebound. Teakle and collect on the wing. Has to get around Brazel and does so. Sends it forward over the head of Scholes. Saint against Pugh. Pugh taps it forward. O'Driscoll will collect. Strom close to the line. They've worked it out nicely, the Dockers. Pugh kicks down the line to a contest. Newton, wonderful spin out of trouble. Kicks up towards Ty. Under pressure. The hand pass out looking for Seth. Tackled, dispossessed, picked up by Ball. And they'll have a ball up.
Get the feeling, Jess, that maybe a few more things have started to click for Fremantle here, making it a little bit harder for Port to get inside their own 50.
Levicki takes it out of the ruck. Miller swoops. Bouncing ball to half forward. Newton has a play out at Ty against Foley. Newton coming in for support. Foley goes to ground. Seth over the top of her. Umpire circling. Calls for a ball up. The final 30 seconds here of the opening quarter. From the stoppage, Goody playing a tackle, and we'll do it all again.
So really contested battle here. Lots of tackling in these last few minutes here from Fremantle, being able to starve Port of the footy.
Strom comes away of Lamb. Down the line, Scholes knocked away from her. We'll have another ball up as the seconds tick down here. Promising start to Port Adelaide. And at quarter time, they take a 13-point lead into the first break. It is Port Adelaide 2-2-14, leading Fremantle one behind at Alberton.
Quarter time here, folks, at Alberton Oval, and of course Port Adelaide doing the job well. 2-2-14 leading the Fremantle Dockers, one solitary behind. Port Adelaide coming out of the guns gates well. They look pretty good out there on the ground. But mind you, folks, Port Adelaide did kick with a nice breeze in that quarter. So that's what made it a little bit difficult for the Fremantle Dockers. But they got into their forward 50 late a couple of times. Looked dangerous. Had a shot on goal, but just couldn't quite get the distance. It could be a little bit of a turnaround in the second quarter when Fremantle got the breeze. So that should be interesting to see how Fremantle go. Let's have a quick look while we're waiting for the commentators to come back on. Have a look at the stats for the first quarter for your favourite players. There we go. Maria Maloney there topping the charts for Port Adelaide with 8 disposals. Best so far on the ground. 5 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 marks, 4 tackles. Emma O'Driscoll best for Freo with 6 disposals. And then, of course, Mim Storm, Gabrielle Newton on 5 and Kirsty Lamb all on 5. Let me just roll down a little bit. Give you a look at your stats for your players. No real dominating player apart from the first one who had good numbers. All the girls sharing the ball around. A little bit difficult conditions out there just with that little bit of a breeze, but the weather is nice. Rain threatening there though, of course, a little bit of sunshine, but we should be in for a good game. Only the 2 goal kickers for the match so far in the opening quarter. Caitlin Wetland and Julia Teakle. Of course, Julia Teakle, she looks dangerous coming off her 4-goal haul last week. It was a good performance there. Let's see how she goes today. Quick look at the team stats, 41-51. There we go, about 20% more to the Dockers. And the kicks all pretty even. The handballs, the Dockers trying to link up. Instead of trying to kick it a little bit longer. 29 to inside 50s. Port Adelaide doubling it. Well, that goes to say with the breeze, folks, it's harder kicking into the wind than when you got that tail breeze behind you. 8-4, and Port Adelaide lead that way. Disposal efficiency, both teams a little bit down in that department. Both need to work on that. 50% efficiency for Port Adelaide going inside 50, which is good. Free kicks, 7-3, going the Dockers' way there. Hit-outs, clearances, centre clearances, stoppage clearances, all even, all square. G'day, Ryan. How you going, Squire? Addie G, Margie, Carly. Thanks for all coming in. See if Flag Mantle can get up, or can Port Adelaide girls have another victory? Should be pretty good. Contested possessions, only 6 the difference to the Dockers way. Same as uncontested. Turnovers, pretty even, 14 to 15 marks. Both doing marks well, 8 to 6. Marks inside 50, 2 to 1. Not too bad considering Port Adelaide been inside twice as much as the Dockers. So you can say Port Adelaide bringing the heat in this game. Good defence here. They're 30 to 14 in the tackles. And, of course, tackles inside 50. Big number to Port Adelaide. 12. Fremantle yet to lay a tackle inside their 50. All right. We are just about going to head back down to the ground. Let me just roll this back up. Get that ready for next time. Let's have a look at the chat. G'day, Mike. G'day, Ryan. How you going? I enjoyed the game today. Not a big crowd. Of course, Ryan went to the game. I think it was Sydney and Richmond. Richmond were just way too good. It was Sydney, wasn't it? Sydney versus Richmond. Looked pretty good, the Tigers out there. Glad you had a good day out there. Even though the crowd wasn't too big. You had nice sunshine. The ground looked a picture out there. It would have been a good day enjoying it. Addy G, the Fremantle fan. Not much faith in them, but maybe they can win this game. Tell you what, it'll be interesting to see how Freo go in this quarter, kicking with that breeze. See if they can peg back the margin, even go into halftime leading. All right, folks, let's get back down to the ground. It's Port Adelaide by 13 points going into the second quarter. We'll take you back down to the ground now, where the umpire's about to bounce the ball.
5 contested possessions, 2 clearances and a score involvement, thanks.
Let's get down to ground level because Mon Vander Hayden is with the Port Adelaide coach, Lauren Arnell.
Thanks, Jess. Got Lauren Arnell here with me. 13 points up at the moment. Great start. You must be happy with what you're seeing.
Yeah, pretty good. I think, obviously we got caught a bit skinny at times with the breeze, so we've got to manage that now going the other way.
Absolutely. Ball stuck in your forward 50 for most of that first quarter. Tackling pressure's been immense from you guys.
Yeah, 25 to 10 I just read at quarter time's pretty impressive start. So, yeah, we'll keep bringing the heat.
Absolutely. And Julia Tika looks on track for another great game.
Yeah, she's in form. It's good.
Fantastic. Good luck.
Thanks to Mon and Lauren downstairs. We are at Alberton Oval, Port Adelaide by 13 points at quarter time. Great vibe here. I love coming to some of these suburban venues. And as I mentioned off the top, it's a great vibe if you're a Port Adelaide fan at the moment.
Yeah, there's so much history at this ground, isn't it? And the club itself, such a proud footy club, played such a really critical role in the story of the game across the whole country.
They're witnessing a pretty good contest so far. A couple of goals in the opening quarter to the power. What have the Dockers got in response as we get underway in the second term? Out of the middle, Hayley Miller swoops and passes out wide to Runnels. Sends it forward. Ty against Borg. Ty. She did. Anya Ty has been in great form to start the season, Shy, but can't be too Ty focused if you're in the Dockers at the moment. They've got to find other avenues to goal.
And they've got them. Absolutely, they've got them. We spoke before about Antonio playing as a deep forward now, and then, of course, Newton that they've drafted in. You know, she's so young still. There's still lots of development left in her game, but, you know, her raw talent is quite something.
Putting the ball up. A lot of numbers around this contest. Runnels picks it up. Onto the boot, close to the line. And that'll be a last touch. Free kick to Port Adelaide. Fans continue to file in here at Alberton Oval. Such a rich history at this venue. Power looking to climb the AFLW ladder in 2024. Big opportunity for them this afternoon against the Dockers, who were wanting to respond after being beaten by Adelaide by 33 points at home last week. Strom sends them forward to that contest we've got our eye on this afternoon, and Anya Tai and Emily Borg.
Certainly that wind is certainly pushing towards the left of the screen. You can even see that Fremantle opting to go for that longer kicking. They often play a shorter kicking game, but
the remaining games for round 3 tomorrow, a couple of rippers in there. Adelaide and Hawthorn, a top of the table clash. Melbourne and North Melbourne's going to be huge. Essendon, St Kilda and the Giants and the Suns as well to round out week 3 of the AFLW. Window to Scholes. Try and link up at half-back. Darrick bursts away to a contest in the square. Gets out the back. Houghton against O'Driscoll. Talk about matchups to watch this afternoon. Of course, Houghton playing against her other side, her old side rather, as Teagle looking for Hammond, had a fumble. Biden Webster, debutant, off to Antonio on your right, shy, a long kick inside forward, 50, O'Sullivan the target. Can she bend it around the corner? Misses near side, but that was a promising build-up from the Dockers. We haven't seen them get that space much so far today.
Yeah, just good quick ball movement on that defensive transition when they won the ball across the half-back line, and O'Sullivan just sneaking out the back there.
The Dockers didn't register a goal last week against the Crows. Well held defensively, just the 6 behinds to them. Really keen to get an early one here in this second quarter. Antonio feeds it out. Newton has coughed it up. Scholes wobbles a kick forward. Teagle gathers. Good pressure applied from the Dockers. Gets out to Pugh on the left. Pokes it down the line, close to the line. And Sullivan can't keep it in. Let's get downstairs to Mom.
Hey guys, just listening in on the Fremantle huddle there at quarter time. I'm trying to think of how to put this politely. Some very strong words in that huddle at quarter time. But the main message was to stop second guessing themselves, to head back to basics and to make the most of the win now that they've got it.
How do you translate that, Shy? What do you think was said?
Just be a bit harder at the footy. Make sure you're covering your opposition. Be disciplined.
Maloney's been prominent early, off to Ange Foley, the veteran. Down the line, O'Driscoll used the body well, couldn't complete the mark. Houghton, Darrick, snaps around the corner. Mills Robertson against Brazel, swooped on. Biden Webster, kick partially smothered. Brooksby to a contest. Pugh involved for the Dockers. Strong, lovely work to East, and now Lowe. Out to the path of Miller, bumped off it by Lamb, goes in again, does Miller. Hammond, hands and knees, farmed it out, window, boot to ball, marked by Mills Robinson, who's captaining the power today in the absence of Janelle Cuthbertson. Chip short, Scholes has some space. Now bombs it long. Saint in a one-on-one, lovely grab.
That was beautiful body work, wasn't it, Jess? Just timed it brilliantly. Of course, we've talked a lot about the long kicking game of Port, but the versatility, they're really smart to just chip it short to Strom when everyone had pushed back into defence from Freo.
The former Crow, she grew up a Port Adelaide fan. That one runs away wildly. And there's blustery out there today, particularly at that end of the ground.
Visibly disappointed with her effort there, Saint, as you would be. It is very blustery.
Flynn on to a contest. Might be coming back. Scholes sends it forward. Attacking it hard was Brazel. Was she taken without it? No free kick. Picked up by Mills Robinson towards a vacant goal square. Bounces through for a behind. Lally on the outer side, tackled, stripped to the footy. Umpire says it's going to be a last touch rule and free kick to Port Adelaide.
So Fremantle really struggling to exit their defensive 50 here. Every time they come just outside the arc, Port Adelaide are able to find a way to bring it back in. But they own the inside 50 territory last quarter, starting off the same way.
So we'll get down to ground level in a moment as we see Mills Robertson just send that into the pocket. It's going to go out of play because Maria Maloney's been good enough to put the headset on for us downstairs. Maria, you've started this contest extremely well. You're getting busy early. How are you finding it out there? And it's a big opportunity for you guys today to keep in touch with the top 8. So how do you approach a game like this when the 4 points are extremely valuable?
Yeah, I think we approach every game like we want to win every game, obviously. So we just go in super hard. Obviously, we want to finish up way higher this season than we did last year. So we'll be doing everything that we can to accomplish
And thanks
that.
for your time. We'll let you go, Maria. There's a free kick in the goal square for Port Adelaide going Fremantle's way. But thanks to Maria for jumping on the headset for us today, who's had 10 disposals already for the power. Strom links up with Brazel. Down the line over the head of O'Sullivan. Goody. Could almost have let it go over. Touched it, so it's going to be a ball in.
Wow. I would have thought that was.
It would have been a free kick.
I think
she
it was.
didn't touch it.
That was preventable going outside of the field of play just now.
Scholes jams it on the boot. Oh, Goody against Miller. That's a free kick. Miller not happy with the treatment.
Well, separate of that, it was a really good defensive 50 exit by Fremantle. Much quicker, much cleaner. Now they've got an opportunity to bring the ball into the forward half.
Lovely kick from Miller.
And just slowed the game down a little bit too, just a little bit more composed. They're playing composed, not rushing themselves.
East down the line. It was knocked away from Lowe. And great work from Hammond.
And maybe the composure we're seeing too, Jess, might have been off the back of Webb's, their coach's instructions to back themselves in, have a bit of belief.
From the stoppage. Almost a free kick there. There's a Docker looking a little worse for wear from Kaufman. She gets to her feet now. Have another ball up, so Fremantle still searching for their first goal this afternoon. Port Adelaide kicked the opening 2 goals through Teakle and Wendland. Lally wrapped up by Bogue. Goody swoops, found some space, skies it to the wing. Lamb has some work to do, bounces in front of her, touches it on the way through. She was so crucial for the power last week against her former side. The Dogs kicked a couple of goals, including the first of the game at the MCG.
Always nice to have one of those in your footy CV, Jess.
Yeah.
Little goal at the MCG. It actually wasn't a little one, it was a big goal off the top of the 50.
So great to see AFLW in that kind of stage. His Scholes showing a bit today. Kick smothered. Again, you can just see the pressure applied.
This is better by Fremantle, Jess. They've been able to hold the ball in the forward half like this. Port Adelaide haven't been able to exit. Better footy.
Ball up, Saint. Looking for Bogue, had a fumble. O'Day is tackled. Hetherington, Scholes and Ruck. Kaufman. Lamb over her. Seen a lot of repeat stoppages today. Darrick. Ball held to her and then it squirts out.
Well, the tackle count this quarter, Jess, is 11 to 10 in favour of Fremantle. Last quarter, Fremantle were minus 15.
Coach Lauren Arnell on the bench. Goody was she held, she was. Rising Star nominee from round 1. You just already tell her footy IQ shy. She's got all the attributes to be a wonderful player for many years, and has a fine kick to Darrick. This kick is looking for Scholes, had to come from behind, knock it down on your tie. Collects, gives it to Kaufman to have nobody ahead of them inside forward 50, so she hesitated with bombing it long. And now we've got a stoppage inside forward 50, inside the centre square rather.
And that's one of the challenges about having Ty, who has to come up really high to win the ball, that, you know, her height's not there to be able to kick to.
Lally going nowhere. There's Lauren Arnell just having a chat to Ange Foley. Strong palms it down. Lamb can't break free. Where is this first goal going to come from? Shy for the Dockers?
Perseverance, Jess. It's going to come from perseverance.
Okay. See how they go here. Newton wobbles it forward. Here's a chance. Gets out the back. Jermek had a fumble. Opens the door for Antonio, who kicks through the Dockers first.
Well, we said the first goal was going to come simply from perseverance, and that's exactly what Fremantle have done this quarter. They got a bit of a rev up from their coach at quarter time, and then what we've seen is a different side, much more contested footy. They've really put the tackles on. They're making sure they stick, and they're just grinding down Port Adelaide, looking for an exit from the congestion, and they got one there, a little fast break, and on the back end of that, of course, was Antonio. Her direct opponent went to ground. You can't give her any space, and she gets them on the board.
Charlotte Curtis called it. Perseverance was going to get Fremantle's first goal of the day, and they get that through Ebony Antonio. Her first goal of season 2023. What a star she has been of this competition. And that is a lifter for the Dockers.
You can't give her any space, Jess. She's just too talented.
Playing game number 60 today. Her 33rd goal of her career. Back in the middle. Bogue on the outer side. There's Lally for company. Kicks it towards forward 50. Back with the flight. Strong.
She's a good player.
It's come along in leaps and bounds.
Literally.
So Runnels kicks to the wing. Maloney swoops. Turns Miller inside out. Pokes it down the line. Goody marks.
Talk about people who've come on. I know you've spoken about her since the start of the game, but every time Maloney goes near the footy, Jess, just looks like they're going to do something.
Goody to a contest. Keeping it alive is Window. To Maloney, had a fumble. Good enough to follow up. Give it to Mules Robinson, who centres the kick. Oh, wonderfully done. And Lally. Kicks out wide. Tie the target. Slip through her fingers. Gets out the back. Well done by O'Sullivan. This next kick is important. Bombs it for space. But it might open up for them. Mulholland can run onto this. Has Kerrick for company. They both go to ground. Free kick for a hold.
Well, that's not a bad outcome for Port. If Kerrick didn't infringe, they're possibly out there and they should get a whole forward 50 to just run into. So maybe a little professional free kick there by Maddie Kerrick. She's experienced enough.
Mulholland, the late inclusion for Ashling McCarthy, who's out with knee soreness today. Bombs it to a dangerous position. Tie in the pack. O'Sullivan has a go. Free kick and for high contact. Gabby O'Sullivan can line up for the Dockers' second.
Gee, she does a mountain of work, doesn't she, Jess? We're just a moment ago talking about her down the other end of the field, and she's now deep forward, having a set shot and goal off the back of a free kick. Just works super hard.
So Port Adelaide kicked the first two goals of the opening quarter. It's a big kick from O'Sullivan as we close in on half-time. And just sneaks it home.
Well, that's game on, Jess. We talked at the start of the match about what we might see today. Would it be an arm wrestle? Are these two teams evenly matched? Is it a realistically W for both of them? And I think that's exactly what's playing out here. Great response by Fremantle after quarter time. They've got the breeze. They're using it well. They're going quick, long and direct. They're playing on nice and quickly. They're leveraging the space that they're creating ahead of them, and it's paying dividends. They've got a couple of quick goals in the last 2 minutes.
So the Dockers close to within a point as we get a look at the replay of the free kick for high contact, and Gabby O'Sullivan makes Port Adelaide pay. It's a big goal on the eve of half-time after Fremantle were well held by Adelaide last week. From the restart, Dowrick bursts away, bombs it to a big pack at half forward. St. Hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. O'Driscoll follows up. Flynn overran it. Chance for Goody close to the line. Hooks the kick around the corner. Bouncing ball inside 450. Wonderful pick up from Houghton. Snap around the corner. Pugh. Maloney got a hand in there. Pugh goes in again. East under pressure. A hurry kick. Strom attacks the contest hard. Spills to Mulholland. Now the Dockers through East. Can send it into the middle of the ground. But Carrick read it best. Came into the side today. Janelle Cuthbertson, the skipper, unfortunately a ruptured ACL. Carrick out in the target. O'Driscoll set upon.
And both teams unchanged, of course, Jess, from in the first 2 rounds. So they've both made, well, obviously the force change for Port and Fremantle making three changes.
Houghton to window. Boot to ball. Out to meet it is Scanlon. And the mark is paid. Into the final minute of the first half here at Alberton Oval. One wrestle of a contest, but an entertaining one. As these two sides look to climb the ladder in season 2024 window. Darrick. Great tackle from Miller against Bogue, and she has been rewarded. Kicks out wide for Verrier. Inclusion today is a bit of leg soreness and injury troubles, but back in the lineup today. Whistle on play, free kick for a push out in the contest. So we'll have to be quick here, Levicki. They'll need a mark in the next few seconds. They got to get one more score in the first half. And the siren beats everyone. So an entertaining first half of footy here at Alberton Oval. These two sides fighting for a place in the top 8. It is Port Adelaide leading by a point, 2-3-15 to Fremantle, 2-2-14. The Power kicked the first 2 goals of the game in the opening quarter. Julia Tickle and Caitlin Wenlin. It was her first in the AFLW. And then it was all Fremantle really in that second quarter. A pair of goals to Ebony Antonio and Gabby O'Sullivan, 2 of their veterans, to close the margin to half-time and have us well placed here, Shiloh, for a big second half of footy.
Yeah, great response by Fremantle, of course. We heard from Mon about the conversation that took place at quarter time, but that's what you want from your team. You want them to be able to respond when they're not happy with the performance, like in that first quarter. Really great to see them do that. We've got a cracking contest on our hands, Jess. Looking forward to the second half.
Let's get down to ground level because Mon is with Ange Foley.
Sure am, guys. Ange, Freo really came back in that second quarter. What do you have to do in the next half?
Yeah, absolutely. They were accountable when it came to the wind. It's a big factor in this game. We put ourselves on contest. We were inspired by our boys last night, and I hope we can continue that in the second half.
Great game it was. 16 tackles for you guys inside forward 50. Is that pressure something you guys have been working on heading into this week?
Absolutely. As I said, we spoke about the boys' game. We wanted to bring that exact pressure. We did in the first quarter. I reckon we dropped off a little bit when they started hitting the scoreboard. It's important that we keep going in the second half.
Thanks, mate. Good luck in the second.
Port Adelaide by a point at halftime. Stay with us. A massive second half of footy coming up after this.
All right, Mr. T, how you going? Shout out, young fella. Good to see you. Good to see you. How's your vacation going? How's your holiday going? Annie, what's going on? Yeah, that's it. I don't think my English is as, I don't know, clear as the one commentating at the moment. But that's all right. Yeah, this is the AFLW. This is a women's football, Mr. T. And, of course, later on, in a couple of hours' time, we have got the men's AFL, the big game, the semi-final. GWS Giants taking on Brisbane. Should be a really, really good game, that one. I should have a big audience coming into that live, so it should be all right. Of course, just a little bit of chopping in the background. Someone's cutting some lettuce up. I should be doing some ASMR shorts on that one. But that's all right. Good to see you doing well. Hopefully you're having a good day there, Mr. T. Sunshine. Sailing the ships over there. Tell you what, be nice. It'd be nice. Tell you what, I like being on the water, sailing on the just getting out on the boats or the sailing ships, that type of thing. It's peaceful. Peaceful. It's like you're in a world of your own when you're out there and you look out the side of the boat and it's just water. It's fantastic. There we go. There we go. Let's just have a look at the stats at half time. Marie Maloney still heads the way on 12 disposals, 7 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 marks, 5 tackles. Dana East, next best for, my gosh, I've forgotten who they're playing. Fremantle. My gosh, next best for Fremantle. My gosh, it's an all. Storm, Strom, and Miller both on 10, Scholes on 9. Let's just roll down the stats while everyone has a little bit of a chit chat in the chat. And don't forget, vote who you think's going to win this game, Port Adelaide or Fremantle. The voting is up the top, or when you come into the live, you can always tick who you think's going to win this game. So far, we've only got 13 votes, 69%. Saying Port Adelaide's going to win this game. I don't know. It's going to be a tight one. Of course, in that quarter, we'll get to that in a minute, there's the goal scorers. Only 4 goals being kicked. Caitlin Wendland, Julia Teakle are the 2 goal scorers from Port Adelaide. And of course, Gabby O'Sullivan and Ebony Antonia are the goal scorers for Fremantle. There you go, just in case you play the fantasy points. Mim Strom is leading the way on 67. Marie Maloney, next best, 58, and the rest all below that. Checking out some of the team stats now, the disposal count, only 12 the difference. Docker's got a little bit more of the action in that quarter. 12 ahead there, just 4 behind on the kicks for them, but 16 up on the handballs. Inside 50s, Port Adelaide still leading the way there, pretty well dominating the inside 50s. 16 up until half time, where the Dockers only inside 9 times, still doing okay for their 4 scoring shots. Disposal efficiency, still a little bit low for both sides, as is the efficiency inside 50. But free kicks, well, there we go. 12-7, Fremantle all the way there. Badass. Annie, I'm from Canada. I barely passed French in school. There we go. Did we get through Friday the 13th? Just a moment. Stoppages. Dockers on clear on the hit-outs there, 21-14. But the clearances, Port Adelaide on top there, 18-13. Centre clearances out of the 5, 2 to Port Adelaide, 3 to the Dockers. Stoppage clearances, Port Adelaide on top there. Possessions contested, pretty even. Uncontested Dockers, they had a bit more of the ball there. As I said, they kicked with the breeze in that quarter, which helped them out. We'll have a look at the scores, what they scored in a moment. The marks, 14 apiece, marks inside 50. Port Adelaide finding their target a little bit better. 3-1 contested marks, 1-2. Let's just have a look at some of these tackles, defensive tackles. Port Adelaide, as I was saying, bring a little bit more heat. 44-30 tackles inside 50. 16 Port Adelaide. Wow-wee. That's a big number. Big number. They are doing the job there, that is for sure. Only 3 of the Dockers. They need to lift their game a little bit there. We got through Friday the 13th quite all right. Yeah, it is Saturday the 14th, so we definitely got through just okay. Just okay we got through there. It was the Dockers put on 2 goals, 1 in that second quarter. And Port Adelaide could only put on 1 behind. As I said before, folks, that is the wind assist to that end of the ground. Of course, Port Adelaide will have the breeze in the third quarter, and of course the Dockers will come home with the breeze. So we could be in for a real interesting game. Who's going to win? Well, I don't know. Port Adelaide do look the better side at the moment, but Fremantle are pressing. They're giving it their all, and they did look a little bit better, controlling the ball a little bit more. Down there, 50, a little bit more often, which was good to see in that quarter. Here we go. Yeah, we got through Friday the 13th. I didn't actually realise it was Friday the 13th yesterday until someone mentioned it. I thought, oh, that's spooky. That's spooky. But, yeah, we got through it okay. All right, I might take you down to the commentators as they have a few words before half-time ends and we get into the third quarter.
4 points is valuable, but this is a real opportunity for these two sides.
Absolutely, particularly when there's been a draw early on in the competition as well. That could potentially play a role in the top 8 positions. And yeah, you want to finish this game 2-1. You don't want to finish it 1-2. It just feels a little bit harder from there.
Port Adelaide getting some messages at halftime in the rooms. Let's chat about Maria Maloney, because you mentioned her off the top. You love what she's bringing to this Port Adelaide side, and hasn't she performed wonderfully in the first half? Leading disposal winner on the ground with 12, 7 of those contested and 5 tackles as well.
Yeah, so 6th season in the competition, Jess, and just really couldn't crack into that really amazing Brisbane lineup for the year she was up there. But gee, sometimes you just need an opportunity, and a kid like Maloney, well, she's not a kid anymore, she's been around long enough, but she's making the most of it, playing a real role through the middle of the ground for Port.
A great battle on our hands here at Alberton Oval as Port Adelaide taking on Fremantle. The Power lead by a point at halftime. A massive second half of footy to come. Don't go anywhere.
Strom really dominating in those hit-outs, 17 hit-outs for her. But it's what she's doing around the ground as well. She's had 4 marks, 4 tackles and 10 disposals as well. So Fremantle currently winning when it comes to centre clearances. So we're going to want to see Matilda Scholes step it up in the second half. She's done some nice things around the ground. It's in the middle where she needs to step it up in these final 2 quarters.
Thank you, Mona and Shai. It has been a really great battle to watch this one. Lots of great matchups out there today for us to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just feeling like there's a few kids out there that I think we're going to be calling their names for many, many years to come.
Of course, still plenty more AFLW action to come this weekend. The remaining games for round 3. What one are you most looking forward to out of that list, Shai?
Probably the Adelaide Hawthorn is going to be a cracking game tomorrow, I think. And also Melbourne and North Melbourne. I'm just fantastic footy ahead of us.
All our attention at the moment is on Alberton Oval. Port Adelaide by a point at half-time as we get underway in the third quarter. And beautiful sunshine has greeted us for the first time today. Mim Strong off to Newton. Boot to ball. Darrick first there for the power. Ripped away from her by Seth. Couldn't find a boot. Lamb wobbles it forward. Niels Robertson gets out the back. Had a fumble. Has time to regather, looking for support. Scholes. High kick inside forward 50. Teakle the target, knocked away from her. East had a go at it, picked up by Window, out to Lamb. And continue to move it forward. Port Adelaide. Bounce here important. Staying out the back. Trying to keep it alive, but it's rushed through.
Well, of course, this end is where the breeze is favouring. All the scoring has been down this end. So Fremantle are going to try and stem the flow, and of course Port Adelaide knows that this is their opportunity to get some separation on the scoreboard.
Scanlon. Short to Brazel.
Freo's going to want to play slow this quarter if they can. Wind the clock down, starve Port Adelaide to the footy and the wind.
So all 4 goals have been scored to the left of screen. In fact, only one behind has been scored to the right of screen.
That was Ash Saint off the right of her boot earlier.
Maybe 2 behinds. One on the first, one on the second. I have a really bad memory, Shai.
In fact, so do I, because Ash Saint's ball went out of bounds on the full.
Okay. Meanwhile, and Scraffer it on the outer side. Lamb involved.
Okay, so more characteristic of that sort of the opening minutes of both of the last quarters. Just lots of stoppage footy, lots of contested ball. And in this, Jess, this is where the free kicks come out, because people get frustrated. They do a little bit more. There's more niggle in the contest and the congestion, and that's where umpires are able to pull out free kicks like that.
Strong disposal number 12 coming up for her, leading disposal winner on the ground for Fremantle. Fantastic mark from Seth in the contest. Looking for Ty. Knocked away from her. Darrick. Tackle by Newton.
And again, slow footy. I don't mind this. Get the footballs. Just be composed. There's nothing that forces you to play fast.
Miller swoops, scrubs it forward. A bouncing footy to Ty. Did really well in the end to find Seth. Just the required distance. Played on. Looks it around the corner. Antonio out to meet it. Now low. Pushed off it by Kerrick. Ball up.
This is a good movement forward by Fremantle. Got a stoppage rather than lose it on the rebound.
Strong and Scholes again in ruck. Down to Goody, ran into a brick wall and East, picked up by Lamb, hacks it out of there. Bouncing footy down the line, Houghton against O'Driscoll. Houghton did well to Scholes. Boot to ball. Towards Ash Saint and a one-on-one against Scanlon. Now sweeping on it is Window. Here's a chance for the power. Inside 50, Teakle! Did she complete the mark? No! Did all the hard work. And then followed up with some great pressure. And Port Adelaide have locked it inside forward 50.
We're really lucky just there, Jess. They were +1 Port Adelaide.
She kicked the first goal of the game, which takes her to first position in the leading goal kickers so far in the AFLW. A few games to be played in round 1. Kick touched off the boot and we'll have a ball up.
She just looks so dangerous, doesn't she, Jess? Every time the ball goes anywhere near it.
Maloney, quick kick out of the pack towards the goal square. They all tangle. Chance for Teakle. Can she get boot to ball? She does! And kicks a second!
She's an excitement machine, Jess. Every time she goes near the ball, something happens, and she's just got almost like a magnet between her and the middle of the post because she knows exactly where the goals are. Doesn't need much time and space, always just gets a little look in to see where the goals actually are, and she can execute so beautifully. Can hold up under the pressure too. Often that's the hard bit, Jess. You can know where they are, but you know the pressure's on you. You've got physicality. Someone's throwing you to the ground. You're still got to get it through, and she can.
Julia Tickle, 1 goal in the opening round, 4 goals against the Dogs last week, a couple here today, takes her tally to 7 for the season, has started brightly indeed, and is leading the AFLW goal-kicking race at the moment. A couple of young stars on that list too. The future is bright indeed for this competition.
And think about Goody, the rising star in round 1, plays beautiful footy. Dowrick as well.
Saint trying to rip it away from Newton. Strong, back to Newton, hurried kick, Ty out to meet it, did well to Kaufman, now to Mulholland. Freo get one back the other way, Biden-Webb-Webster, the first gamer for the Dockers today. Making her club debut, sends Fremantle in attack. Wonderful mark, O'Day.
Seen that many times in her career, haven't we, Jess? Just does the hard work.
Keep looking for Maloney, has to collect on the bounce. Kicks it into the middle of the ground, off hand. Syme spins around, sends it to half forward. Pugh there, ran into a teammate, O'Driscoll, and this might be a chance for Port Adelaide. Levicki, though, her hand pass broken up by Brazel. Dockers have the numbers around the footy. The cavalry arrives to the power. Once again, they lock it inside forward 50.
Brazel read that beautifully. They knew what was coming, saw that they were down one player, really proactive, but they're not out of trouble yet, Fremantle.
Strong palms it down to Syme. Couldn't take it with her. Up. Vicky and Strong. Coming through Wendland. O'Driscoll. Tie underneath it, knocked away from her. Maloney at ground level. It's going nowhere.
Inside 50s, 3 apiece, Jess, this quarter.
Port Adelaide have it inside 50 at the moment. Ball gets out the back to Brazel, has to get rid of it to Lally. Has to hack it forward. Mulholland involved against Brooksby. Back to Lally. Sends it long into the middle of the ground. It's well read by Jamak. Attacked it wonderfully. Now Saint. And is that a push in the back? O'Driscoll has infringed. And a chance for Levicki.
Well, the cheek, I guess, of turning around and having a look at the umpire because the push was clearly there. But that's what fast footy does. When you can bring the football in quick, long and direct, under pace, you put lots of pressure on the defender. They start forcing errors and they give away free kicks like that, giving set shots to key forwards.
The former basketballer was spotted by Aaron Phillips. Now calls Port Adelaide home. Kick is on its way and it's straight through the middle.
Well, it was a beautiful finish in front of goal there by Levicki. She did all the work. She was able to draw that free kick because she looked really dangerous as the ball came in nice and quickly. And Port Adelaide's really long kicking game, really putting lots of pressure on the Fremantle defenders. Free kick given away. Levicki was a beneficiary. She kicked truly.
So it's certainly been a game of momentum swings so far. Port Adelaide kicked the first 2 goals of the game, the only 2 in the opening quarter, as we see a replay of the clear free kick. Fortunately, Emery Driscoll is not getting away with that one. Fremantle responded with the next 2 in the second quarter, and then here we are in the third. And Port Adelaide have the only 2.
And those 2 goals have happened really quickly too, Jess. So Fremantle might be ruining some opportunities here. They've done a lot of work in the first part of this quarter.
Lally. Kaufman laying a tackle.
And the tackle count is 14-8 in favour of Port Adelaide. We saw that last quarter.
Saint hand to it. Coming through Wenlin. Off to Bogue. Wobbles kick to half forward. Mills Robertson against Brazel. Bogue kept running. Kick on the outside of the boot. Teagle the target. Prominent again today with a couple of goals. Back to Bogue. Still involved. Kick partially smothered. Goody with a fist. Brazel. To Newton East. Got to get rid of it. Does. Kick has been chopped off by Bogue.
But just a hack kick forward, under pressure.
Bombs it long. And there's a good mark taken by Flynn. Looking to use the outer side. Off to Lally. They're off here. Do have some space shy. Runnels. Good user of the footy normally. Next link in the chain is Antonio. Collects on the bounce. Will look to go inboard to Lally. His numbers are getting back now. Lally takes off. Sends it to a contest. Tie the target. Free kick. Players streaming forward. She'll look to pass it off and hit a target. O'Day with a fist over Runnels. Still alive for the Dockers. O'Sullivan comes bursting through. Fends off her own teammate. Then gets caught. Umpire calls play on. Ball still alive. Low wrapped up. We'll have a ball up.
Well, some indecision there by Fremantle has just cost them pretty much a certain goal.
Have a stoppage inside forward 50. Sign.
And the importance of a goal against the breeze too, Jess, in the run of the play.
See what they can manufacture here. Kaufman first to it. Slips the tackle. Boot to ball. Here's a chance. Top of the square. One-on-one contest. Borg wins that against Ty, who takes her over the line. Umpire says throw it in.
A good sign for Fremantle here. No, they didn't get the goal there where they had the outnumber. That 3-1 there, but they've kept it inside 50. They're able to get it deep forward 30.
Ty against Levicki. Down to Syme. Had a fumble. Levicki goes in again. Stripped to the footy. No free kick. Umpire content to let it play on. As O'Sullivan take it high. No free kick. Umpire calls for it.
So another stoppage inside Fremantle's forward 30.
Ty down to Seth. Quick boot to ball. To a dangerous position. Low underneath it. Goody right there with her. Foley wanted a free kick. Players will call Antonio. Goes out of play.
Well, not a bad result there for Fremantle as well. That the ball's not in Port Adelaide's hands. It's in the umpire's hands. They get another stoppage and they're right in the corridor here pretty much.
Pressing here the Dockers. Can they get reward on the scoreboard? O'Sullivan comes bursting through. Off to Ty. Gets boot to ball and it's away to the right.
So lots of play in the Fremantle forward half, forward 50, just winding down the clock. Starves Port Adelaide of the opportunity with the wind in this third quarter. Just slowing down their momentum as well after those two quick goals.
Port Adelaide by a point at halftime. Margin's now 13. A long kick out. It's wonderfully marked by Neil Robertson. Let's get downstairs to ground level because Mim Strom's been good enough to put on the headset for us. Mim, a great contest unfolding for us in the commentary box.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the contest so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice and hot out there. We knew they were contested on the inside, so yeah, it's a good game.
And a great battle in the ruck against Shoals for most of the afternoon. How are you finding that little battle?
Yeah, she's a great young ruck. Really admire her work, so it's great to test against her.
And of course, the breeze playing a role. How big a factor do you think it is in the result of the game?
Man, you get 2 quarters in it and 2 against it, so it's just whoever's going to use it best.
Thanks for your time, Mim. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mim Strom downstairs for us. As Runnels pokes the kick into the pocket to a one-on-one. Antonio against Foley. To experienced stars going at it. Picked up by Hammond. Hacks it out of the danger zone. Looking for Houghton. Couldn't complete the mark. Free kick for high contact. So they're pressing here, Fremantle. Kaufman will send them inside forward 50 again. It's a crowded forward 50. Directs the pass into the corridor. That was a wonderful kick and it's marked by Miller, who wants to play on, sees an opportunity. It goes towards the goal face and it's missing to the left. Maybe should have taken a time, Shy.
I was just about to say, just really lovely composed build up here, just patiently just working the ball forward, finds Miller, and then she just runs off in a flurry. She probably had a little bit more space just to be able to go back and set herself up well.
Into the final 5 minutes of the third quarter here. Only 2 goals of the third term going the way of Port Adelaide, but Fremantle have had some territory in their front half in the last few minutes. Newton, Kaufman, O'Sullivan, soccers it forward to Antonio. Here's another chance for Miller on the left, towards full forward. Ty gets there.
Gee, she's a good player. It's the mobility that she brings and her reaction time, Jess. Once she reacted before everyone else did on the field, and that's why she had just that extra step in her opponent and then taking that diving, sliding mark. Fantastic work.
She's a sight to behold in season 2024. Anya Ty, a massive kick for the Dockers. She gets the job done.
Well, that's a really important goal for Fremantle in the context of the scoreboard, but also in the context of how the game is being played. Of course, we saw in the opening term they just weren't able to really wrestle control of the game back from Port Adelaide, but that's exactly what they've done after a couple of quick goals by Port Adelaide early. Fremantle just working the ball forward, really composed, repeated inside 50 entries, pressure on the Oppo defenders, and they get a goal through Ty as a result.
First goal of the game to that end of the ground as well, Shy. So a bit of elements to contend with out there today. A blustery breeze and a really important response to Fremantle and to Anya Tai, who's been together a great season so far. Her 5th goal in 2024 for the 32-year-old. What a story she is. Back in the middle. Port Adelaide send it forward through Lamb. Wenlin will run onto this. Into the pocket to Saint.
That's good. That's good football.
Quick to move it forward. Houghton in the middle of the pack, close to the line. Pugh right there with her. O'Driscoll keeps it alive. Veria, sold a bit of Kenny, then slipped over and then copped some high contact. Bit of everything, that piece of play.
And was run over. It's not very comfortable at all.
Let's take another look.
I love the little candy though.
Yeah, very nice. Risky kick into the corridor, but it works out well to Pugh. Pass to Brazel, had a bit of a fumble. Now she's under pressure. Syme to Lamb. Look out, got to get rid of it. And pass looking back to Syme. Lamb goes in again. Ball still alive. Window, Miller. O'Sullivan. Whacks it out of there to a one-on-one. Newton against Jeanette, who wins the one-on-one. Flares the kick out wide to Darrick. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter here. Darrick will bomb it long. Where are the Flyers for Port Adelaide? Houghton in the contest. Follows up. Gets it out to Window. To full forward. Scholes from the side. Couldn't complete the mark. Syme goes in hard. And is wrapped up by a couple of Dockers. Scholes against Strong. Great battle that's been. Goody, the rising star. Scrubs it forward. Great job, Brazel, to bring it to ground. Antonio's gone back to help out the Dockers' defence in this last 90 seconds of the third quarter. Free kick. Fremantle's way. Adelaide fans not happy.
Really good response from Fremantle again, not panicking in front of goals, just prepared to do the hard work.
Ball has gone out of play and will be tossed back in. Miller collides with the fence. This contest delicately poised at the moment. Miller tackles Lamb. 5 disposals this quarter for Kirsty Lamb. Pugh. Wrapped up by Darrick. Pugh. Oh, wonderful mark to Goody.
She's got some hops, doesn't she?
Got a bit of everything. Fans screaming for her to bomb it long. She gets a good piece of that, but it's away to the left. Would have been something on the eve of three-quarter time.
I love how she plays her footy, Jess. Just the confidence in her. Such a young player. Backs her own ability, believes in her, what she can do.
So the Dockers won't want to concede one late here. O'Sullivan working hard to East. Miller had a fumble. East goes in again. Lamb trying to break free. Can't do so. 30 seconds to go.
It's been a good little 2-minute patch here. We're in time on period right now for Fremantle to not concede. They're doing a really good job.
Can the Power get one late here? Scholes down to Lamb, trying to break the tackle. Did break one, couldn't break the second and the third. Umpire says, I will have it. Another ball up inside 50 for Port Adelaide. Go at it again. Miller, East. Hurried kick. O'Sullivan underneath it. Brought to ground. Goody over the top of her. Final few seconds. East. And this game is all set up for us at Alberton Oval. A great contest on our hands. Port Adelaide leading by 7 points as we turn for home. 4-5, 29 to Fremantle's 3-4, 22. Don't go anywhere. A huge final quarter to come after the break.
Three-quarter time here, folks. 4-5, 29. Port Adelaide leading the Dockers 3-4, 22. Port Adelaide putting on 2 goals, 2 in that third quarter. And, of course, the Dockers putting on 1 goal, 2. The Dockers did look definitely the more dangerous side in that. And, of course, Port Adelaide had the wind assistance in that third quarter. The Dockers, they'll be coming home with it in the final term, folks. My selection, the Dockers. I think the Dockers will be too strong in this game. I think they'll use that wind assist. I think they'll get it down there, and I think they'll slot a few goals in this final term. Can you believe it? Well, Port Adelaide have led all day long. I think this game can be turned on its head, and I think the Dockers might do it. Only 7 points adrift. That's my tip for this game. But we've still got 1 quarter to go, folks, here down at Alberton Oval, where Port Adelaide leading the Dockers by 7 points. Thanks very much to Paul. He's going to head out. We'll catch you later in the big game. So that's about an hour and a half away, folks. The big game of the evening, of course, that's GWS Giants taking on the Brisbane Lions in the men's AFL second semi-final. So it should be an absolute cracker. As we saw the big match last night, Port Adelaide getting over Hawthorn in the first semi-final there. Tell you what, it was a close game. It was a ripper game. And the crowd were ecstatic there. And I think it's going to be exactly the same in tonight's game. We had thousands of people in the live there yesterday for that game. And I expect we'll have another big crowd in tonight. So that should be good. That's coming up in about an hour and a half. But we've still got this game to complete. We've got 1 more quarter to go. Any time for some sleep? Yeah. No, that's all right. Go get some sleep. And if you're awake, we'll see you back a little bit later for the next game. Probably live in the next game in about an hour and a half. So go and get your sleep. Have some brekkie. Grab a coffee when you wake up. Most importantly, have a good bit of rest. All right. I'll stop talking just for a moment, folks, until the commentators come back.
The ball moving nice and quickly.
And let's have a quick listen in to the Fremantle huddle at 3/4 time.
I'm going to ask you guys, and you need to do it because I know you've got it. You need to dig deeper than you ever have, okay? It's how bad we want this here, okay? And we need to work them over. Let's test them out. Kick to handball ratio has to be through the roof. Kick, but with a bit of thought. Got it? Great response. It's time to go. Let's go.
There you have it. You need to dig deeper than you ever have before. Let's check in downstairs to Mo Vanderhagen.
Thanks, Jess. I was listening in on the Port Adelaide huddle, and they know that they're in for a fight for this final quarter, but they do say that they want to get repeat stoppages. Now, especially that Fremantle will have the wind on their side, especially in forward 50. They're scoring really successfully from those forward 50 stoppages, so if they can keep the pressure up in their front half, they'll be in for a fight this afternoon.
Port Adelaide trying to follow in the footsteps of their men's inspiring win last night. Of course, the men's semi-final tonight, the Giants against Brisbane up in Sydney. So we get underway in the final quarter here at Alberton Oval. Valuable 4 points up for grabs for these two sides. Port Adelaide by 7 points. They led by 13 at quarter time, by a point at half time. Spot in the top 8 on the line. O'Day wrapped up.
Both teams just came out of their huddles really early too, though, so they had to sit around for a couple of minutes while we did our job up here. But that's how eager they are for this contest.
It's a free kick in the contest here, Mim Strom. An early opportunity to the Dockers. Young star ruck of the competition sinks her boot into it from 45, and Ebony Antonio on the goal line. Well, you cannot give her any space at all, anywhere on the ground.
I'm just taking it on my chest, thanks. Just able to stroll in. There was space in front of her.
She's made for big moments, Ebony Antonio. Cross the face of goal, and it's marked by Mulholland.
It was a great outfield mark, wasn't it?
Might be a goal assist to Antonio. Maybe. We'll see what Mulholland can manufacture in the other pocket. Of course, there is a bit of a strong breeze heading to that end of the ground. She was a late inclusion for Ashley McCarthy, who, if you just joined us, ruled out of tonight's match with knee soreness, rather. Mulholland from the pocket. And that is an unbelievable finish from Amy Mulholland.
Well, what a wonderful finish there by Mulholland. She was a late call-up, was going to be rested today, but needed to come in, of course, because Sheridan was out. But what I liked about Fremantle there is they won the centre clearance, they got the ball deep, their movement patterns up forward really strong. That's how Antonio got the footy on the chest in the first place. But just some really clever work there by Mulholland, and she finished beautifully.
Worked that to absolute perfection, did Amy Mulholland from the pocket. And this is a great angle of it. Use the breeze to absolute perfection. Wonderful goal. Tugs the jump up. From the opening bounce, Shy, we felt the intensity out there. These are two sides who are hungry for a win here this afternoon. Margin back to a point. Miller to Lally. Bangs it forward for the Dockers. Kick a little bit too much on it for Ty. Needs to touch it before it goes out of play. She does. They'll have a ball in.
Some troubling signs for Port. Haven't been able to win the centre clearances this quarter.
It's been a good battle, the midfield watch this afternoon.
Port Adelaide haven't had a possession this quarter.
Here's Strom. Keeps it alive. Mulholland, the last goal kicker. Goody swoops. Contact. Bright start to her AFLW career, the Rising Star nominee from round 1 to a contest. Off hands, Niels Robertson involved. Can't take it with her. Strom goes in again. Great today. Lamb scrubs it forward. Brazel. Inboard to Lally. Wobbles it along the ground. O'Day out to meet it first. Wrapped up by Strom. Already had 3 disposals this quarter. See the tackle count on screen. The Dockers are lifting. Brazel bangs it forward. Port Adelaide have the numbers and Julia Teakle. She's doing it at either end of the ground at the moment.
It's not where you want her. They've got to win the game. So it's an interesting decision. She was the +1 behind the ball. Now she's motoring back downfield.
Jamak overran it, opens the door for Biden Webster. Antonio, airbus chopped off by Foley, is brought to ground by Miller. The nervous moments in this final quarter.
Teakle staying down there in that defensive 50.
So one Port Adelaide player forward of halfway at the moment in the Vicky. Lamb, big contest, a big bump.
Oh, Lammy, that was great.
Kicks it out of the danger zone. O'Driscoll wrapped up. Let's take another look.
I reckon she's going to feel that.
Against O'Sullivan too. Two players who never take a backward step. Lamb again. And O'Driscoll. Such an important player in this Dockers back line. Darrick, clearing kick. Verrier is there first, off to Scanlon, now to Brazel. Kick to Miller on the wings, a good one. Runs inboard, pumps it long to a contest tie! She's so good to watch. Wheels inboard, sends it to the goal square. And Teakle on the last line. Here is a replay of this mark. So impressive how some of these Gaelic footballers can adapt to our game, Shai. There are similar skills involved in both codes, but so wonderful.
It's a wonderfully athletic game, the Gaelic version of football, and they're just amazing athletes. 34 of them playing in the competition this year.
O'Driscoll read it best off the boot. Dockers have had the momentum so far in the last quarter. They still haven't hit the lead. Brazel. Is this their moment? Kicks it to a dangerous position. Tie again, the target. Shanae Goody rowing before our eyes.
We're going to have to be careful here, Port Adelaide. They're over-manning on Ty, and that's going to create a loose one eventually for Fremantle. Maybe an Antonio. We've got a plethora of forwards that they can use. It's going to be a last touch free kick to Fremantle as we go downstairs to Mon.
Thanks, Jess. I'm just keeping a close eye on the uncontested possession count for Port Adelaide at the moment. So it's 54-88 for Fremantle. One thing that was also mentioned at three-quarter time was keeping control of the ball. We've spoken so much today about how much they love that long kick down the line. I'm thinking they might want to switch it up for this final quarter, especially while they're against the wind.
Port Adelaide trying to exit defence. Fremantle sends it back the other way. Scholes. Underneath it is Strong. This calls for a little bit of calm. Fremantle have not led at any stage of this match this afternoon. The kick inside 50 didn't quite have the carry. Darrick pounces. Streams out of defence. Jamak under a bit of pressure. Now they might have turned it over here. Fremantle looking to make them pay. Seth, that's a great kick to half forward. O'Sullivan's in space. She can wheel and go. Gets around Borg on the mark to full forward, and he's read best by Teakle, who's been sent back into defence in this final quarter. And I think on your time might have slipped over a couple of moments ago.
It's an interesting decision, Jess, to put Teakle back behind the footy, because when they had the ball, Port Adelaide, they just didn't have any structure forward of the contest. So, that's a coaching win for me. They've broken down though. They've changed up their forward structure. Yes, you're playing into the wind, but right now they don't have a lot forward.
They led by 7 points at three-quarter time, Port Adelaide. They led by 13 at quarter time, 1 point at half time. Fremantle with the only goal of the final quarter. Ty takes it out of the ruck. Missing left. But they are all over them at the moment.
I was about to say, Jess, they're defending a 1 point lead. They've got 9 minutes to go. Now we're back to nil-all draw here. So Port Adelaide has to try and win this game. They cannot defend it.
Dangerous kick in. Ty comes across to make a contest. At ground level, feeds it to Seth. Hooks it around the corner. It spills to Kaufman. And her kick is out of bounds on the full. The power cannot get it outside defence at the moment.
How's it work by Ty then, though? She gets cleaned up in the marking contest, goes to ground, gets back to her feet as quick as possible for the handball distribution out, and Fremantle were able to have another shot on goal. Like, she's just so agile.
Brooksby. Kick is intercepted by O'Sullivan.
Lally, in fact, it is. Just reading the ball better with the flight when the ball goes into the breeze too, Fremantle.
Send it back inside forward 50. Again, Ty has a couple to beat. Did well to halve the contest. Now she's caught. And it's holding the ball. So Port Adelaide can't go into save the game mode. Fremantle perhaps can't keep kicking it to Anya Ty when she's got a few to beat.
Nice call, Jess. Absolutely. They've got to try and diversify how they bring it in to really stretch the oppo, make them keep thinking, be unpredictable.
Newton to full forward. Ball saves the day, but they are under the pump. Port Adelaide 10 inside 50s to none in this final quarter. Scores a level with 7 minutes to go. Off hands. Goody goes to ground. Umpires having a good look at this. Calls for it.
And of course, you don't really want to draw, Jess, when you know you can achieve the W in a game like this. You want to make sure that you get the 4 points, can make all the difference at the pointy end of the season.
Derrick breaks the tackle. Quite get good connection with the kick. O'Lally is there to Scanlon. Never couldn't find the target the first time, but they worked it out. O'Sullivan to Hetherington. Kick inside 50. Brooksby takes the grab. Fans are getting restless in the stands. Neat kick out wide. Maloney. It's been important today. Disposal number 17 coming up. Down the line for Goody.
Nice composure. This is better football from Port Adelaide.
I don't think they've had it past halfway in this final quarter. Newton hands to it, no mark. Derrick again involved.
Port have had 0 possessions in their forward half this quarter. Fremantle, on the other hand, have had 32.
Tensions continuing to rise here at Alberton Oval. Next goal is super important. Fremantle have not let it all today. They kick the only goal of the final quarter so far. Great tackle applied from Kaufman on Goody. Wins the free kick for the Dockers. Again, they go in search of Ty. Gets out the back. The club debutant, Biden Webster, taps it to her own advantage. This is going to be a moment to remember. But it's away to the right. Fremantle have the lead for the very first time today.
Well, she's got plenty of pace, Biden Webster. Love the fact that she had the confidence to get around one, try and get around a second.
A long kick out to a contest. Newton scrubs it forward. Runnels. Backwards to Lally. Gets around Foley. Takes off. Shoots towards goal. And again, it's missing. 1 goal, 3 to the Dockers so far in this final term. Port Adelaide defending for their life in this final quarter, but they coughed up the lead. They led by 7 at 3/4 time. It's been all Fremantle in this final quarter. They do have the aid of the breeze. Goody swoops to Foley. Houghton, a couple of efforts. Did well at ground level, takes off, looking for Teakle. Had a fumble, regathers, tackled by Kaufman. Ball held up. 4 minutes to play here in the final quarter. What a contest this has been so far. Both teams looking for the second win of the season. Fremantle move it forward again, Ty. And they've got space inside forward 50. The long bomb to Miller. She just has to gather and find her boots, soccer it off the ground. Something as she does.
Well, just give Anya Ty the BOG award already for this game. That's a fantastic effort. That really long lead up the field. They spotted her up. She was able to take the mark. And then the wheel and go, the leg on her, that was all of 60 metres, that kick. And then got the ball out the back, promoted the runner from behind. And Hayley Millery on the end of that didn't try and do too much with it, realised it wasn't going to sit up for her. So she just dribbled it over the line quite casually in the end. Fantastic work.
And she's looking a little proppy, Hayley Miller, after kicking that crucial goal for Fremantle. Of course, their former skipper. And Docker since day one. And what a crucial kick that was. 8 points now, the Fremantle lead. And it is all up to Port Adelaide now to respond. Lamb, a crucial centre clearance towards forward, and O'Driscoll.
Port Adelaide still haven't had a disposal in the forward half this quarter.
That was a big mark. 3.5 to play. Jamak hands to it. Scholes against Seth. Fremantle's first win in round one against Essendon by 43. They lost to Adelaide by 33 last week.
Inside 50s this quarter, just 14-0.
That's incredible.
Contested ball winning, 22-13, Fremantle's way.
Still time enough, if good enough for Port Adelaide. Jamak, they've got to go. They've got to find something. Darrick from the centre of Alberton Oval to a contest, a half forward Houghton. A high kick, it won't be the required distance. Off hands, Newton. Kicks out wide. Biden Webster under pressure. And this is an important forward 50 stoppage for the Power with 2:20 on the clock. Plenty more action in the AFLW to come tomorrow for big games to round out week 3. And the ball up, Newton. The territory on the space. Foley happy to see it over because Port Adelaide will get a free kick. Don't forget a massive AFL men's semi-final to come tonight. The Giants against Brisbane. As we're into the final 2 minutes here. Brazel, a big win for the Dockers. O'Sullivan just kicks it for territory. There's no one ahead of the ball for the Dockers. Hammond will get their first inside defensive 50. Ty chasing after her. Kicks out wide for Kerrick. Runnels gets involved. Lally is a big win for Fremantle. Runnels wobbles it inside forward 50. Foley overran it. Darrick off to Brooksby. And now to Mules Robinson. Is time going to be the enemy for the Power? They have to go the length of the ground. They've got to keep it moving. Dockers have the numbers, safe from behind. Close to the line. Biden Webster kicks smothered by Brooksby. Players diving in and coming in from everywhere as Strom has been one of the Fremantle's best today. Lays an important tackle. Into the final minute. Antonio, and you'd think Fremantle might be happy just to waste some seconds off the clock here, Shiloh.
Absolutely, just grind it down here. Contested footy, it's what's gotten them into this position today. Perseverance, just tough footy, tackles, win that one-on-one contested ball.
They didn't score a goal in the opening quarter after being held goalless by Adelaide last week. And you said it earlier in the call, Shai, their first goal was going to come from perseverance, and that is exactly the performance we've seen from the Dockers today. In tough, windy conditions, these two sides playing for the first time in the AFLW competition as Mills Robertson sends it down the line, but O'Driscoll has just gotten better as the game has gone on today. Down the line, it gets out the back. Foley sees it over. Free kick to Port for last touch. Port Adelaide led by 13 at quarter time, by a point at half time, by 7 at three-quarter time. Fremantle didn't hit the front until the final quarter. Just the one goal scored in the last term to Amy Mulholland, the late inclusion. An absolute ripper from the pocket. Very young. Bangs it long. A come from behind thriller for Fremantle, who earned their second win of season 2024. They take down Port Adelaide by 8 points. An incredible victory for Port Adelaide. They trailed by 7 to Fremantle. They trailed by 7 points at three-quarter time. 2 goals in the final quarter, including a sealer to the inspirational player in Hayley Miller. She's downstairs with Mon van der Hayden.
Thanks, Jess. First things first, Hayley, we saw you come up, get a bit of work from the physio after that goal. All okay? Just some cramping?
Yeah, I was just cramping really, really badly. But no, all good. So I was stoked for us to get the win and the girls finished it off.
Absolutely. Huge contest from Port Adelaide today, though. But how important was it for you guys to bounce back after the performance last week?
Yeah, we were pretty, I suppose, embarrassed by what we put forward last week, and we knew it wasn't good enough. So it was certainly a bit of a redemption game for us. We know that we're better than that. So, yeah, we got to work during the week and pretty happy with the performance tonight.
Big day out for you as well. 18 disposals. Understandable why you're cramping, hey?
Yeah, no, it's just a good team performance. And, yeah, to Port Adelaide's credit, they, ran pretty hard and ran us around the ground and, skills and ball use and whatnot. So, but, yeah, again, proud of our girls to get the job done.
How much is that win factor tonight?
Yeah, it's probably a couple of goals, Bree. So we knew going into the last quarter that, if we can get it going forward and get some ascendancy, that would do all right. So, yeah, I was proud that we were able to do that.
Thanks, Hayley.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mon and Hayley downstairs. Hayley Miller in a game, equal game high, 18 disposals, including the sealer. But Shai, you love the work of Anya Ty today, who kicked a crucial goal in the third quarter and helped set up the winner.
Oh, how good was she, Jess? She had the 13 disposals. She had 7 uncontested, 6 contested possessions. She kicked only 1-2 in the end. That surprises me because it just felt like she was so involved in everything. The 4 score involvements. She was just absolutely outstanding today. So, fantastic player.
And this is how important the win is. Fremantle keep themselves in the top 8. The top 8 positions will equal first on the ladder with plenty more games to come tomorrow afternoon. A massive win to the Fremantle Dockers. They earn their second win of season 2024 by 8 points over Port Adelaide. And the first time these two sides have met in the AFLW competition, let's take you into the song.
Sydney Swans win! September heartbreak.
All right, folks, there you go. What an exciting finish. The Dockers got up. As predicted, at three-quarter time, I thought with the breeze going with the Dockers in the final quarter, I thought they would be the ones to beat, even though they came from a 7-point deficit at three-quarter time. They got up to win by 8 points. Of course, it was hard going kicking into that breeze today. There was only 1 goal scored at that end. And 8 goals at the other. You look at it this way, folks. Port Adelaide only kicked 1 behind going for half a game going into the breeze. And they kicked 4 goals, 4 going the opposite way. So that shows you the factor of the wind breeze today. But a little over an hour's time, folks, and we've got the big game on. Of course, GWS Giants taking on the Brisbane Lions. But I think the Brisbane Lions will get the job done tonight because we had the poll in who's going to win this game today. We had 19 votes. 73% went for Port Adelaide. 26% went for Freo. Good on you for the 26% who picked Freo. But there we go. Port Adelaide not scoring in the final term where the Dockers kicked 2 goals, 3. They pressed the entire final quarter. They were really good. The margin could have been a little bit bigger. They just didn't compose themselves going inside forward 50. They bombed the ball in a lot. And finally, they got to break through. If you go in enough, you're definitely going to break through. Let's have a quick wrap up. Oh, the players' stats there for your favourite player. Mim Storm and Hayley Miller and Orla Lally all finished on top of the ladder with 18 disposals for Fremantle. There we go. Maloney next best, or the best for Port Adelaide on 17. Christy Lamb on 16. And we'll just get through these stats. We'll just roll through these and then we'll give you the goal scorers before we wrap this live up. Don't forget, folks, as I said, in an hour's time, we're going to head to the big game up there in Sydney for the GWS Giants AFL men's semi-final. GWS Giants taking on Brisbane. That's going to be an absolute ripper of a game. That's a game you don't want to miss, and we're going to be covering that game live in about 50 minutes' time. So stay tuned for that, folks. That's coming up not too far away. Of course, 7:30 Melbourne time, that game starts. So, yeah, but probably about 45 minutes, we'll be covering that game. Julie Teakle, another good performance from her from Port Adelaide, kicking 2 goals from her 8 kicks. Good stuff. Wedlin with 1, also Levicki with the other 2 single goal scorers there for Port Adelaide. But for Freo, Ty O'Sullivan, Mulholland, Miller and Antonio were the single goal scorers for the Fremantle Dockers. But there we go, folks. That is it. That's another game here of AFLW all wrapped up. Fantastic. Just to recap so far, round 3, it was West Coast Eagles over the Western Bulldogs by 11 points. It was the Brisbane Lions by 52 over Collingwood. Richmond had a big win today by 46 points over Sydney. Of course, Carlton won by 24 points over Geelong. And this match, of course, Fremantle victors by 8 points. AFLW action coming your way tomorrow. We've got a few games on tomorrow. Adelaide taking on Hawthorn, Melbourne taking on North Melbourne, Essendon v St Kilda, and of course the Giants and Gold Coast. We should be able to cover 1 or 2 of those games tomorrow. It should be pretty good. But that's all I've got for this game, folks. Don't forget, tune in about 45 minutes' time, where we will be covering the big match up in Sydney. Second semi-final of men's AFL, the GWS Giants taking on the Brisbane Lions. All right, thanks everybody for coming in. Hope you enjoyed today's coverage of this game, AFLW, Port Adelaide and the Dockers. Dockers too strong though today, however. Until we see you again, folks, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next live.